in the Home Office joins us this morning. Very good morning to you. Look, perhaps controversial plans being brought in by Priti Patel. What is it hoped that this will achieve?
Well, what we want to see is increased confidence from the police to bring in these Section 60 powers, ultimately to save lives and keep our streets safer. What we've set out in the Beating Crime Plan is that we are determined to crack down on the scourge of knife crime. I, as a Home Office Minister, I often have to speak to bereaved families who've lost their child, and I can't imagine how awful that can be, that fear that your child may walk out of the door and not come back because they're a victim of knife crime. So this is a really helpful tool. It does allow the police to put the Section 60 in place where they believe there will be a risk of serious violence, and we believe it will ultimately keep people safer and save lives.
In the year to March, according to Home Office figures, there were 9,230 stop and searches. Do you know what percentage of those resulted in arrests?
Out of that figure, I don't know, but I do know that we have taken 50,000 knives off the street in that time, and we've arrested 150,000 additional suspects. And so it is clear that the work that we are carrying out in the Home Office is bearing down on these statistics, and we have seen a reduction in stabbings as a result of that. However, we clearly need to do more, which is why we've listened to our policing partners and why we've taken these actions.
The number of stop and search, 9,230 stop and searches in the year to March 2021, 4% of them resulted in arrests, and that's the same as the previous year. So it doesn't seem like stop and searches necessarily results in more arrests, and certainly not more being charged.
Well, out of all those people, there were people arrested, and suspects were arrested out of those numbers that you've just mentioned. But clearly we need to do more. Stop and search is one tool, but there are a range of other measures that we are introducing and working through as part of the Beating Crime Plan, including bearing down on crime in all its forms. We're putting those long-term measures in place to actually divert young people away from a life of crime. So it's an overall system response. But stop and search, to be clear, it's very important. It's what the police have asked for. They've asked for these measures. We've listened to the police, and we're backing them to continue cracking down on knife crime in our cities and streets.